Welcome to the Open Bedroom Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Kalo. Welcome to conversations about open relationships, online dating, and creating relationship dynamics that truly align for you. Now, this is where you start to get the stickiness. Like, oh, you're into dogs, I'm into dogs. Like, you're into riding, I'm into riding. I got a motorcycle, I got a horse. Avid animal lover and raise dogs, horses, cows, goats, chickens, and plants. I'm also into homesteading and own a huge self-sustaining farm. I can shoot guns, drive a tractor, and cook a damn good meal. I love mountains more than the beach. Now, I'm going to stop right here because this gives you so much meat to then respond to this person and say, I love to cook too. What's your favorite recipe? Hey guys, today we're going to talk about dating can be easy. And I am here to teach you how to create a dating profile that will actually land you a date. And not just a date, but aligned humans to date. Here is some feedback that I just got earlier today on a client that I'm working with her dating profile. And she says, I've only had my field profile up for a week and a half, and I've gotten over 200 right swipes. About 50% I swiped left to. I've capped around 80 and I'm working through them now. Thank you, Miss Betty, for this feedback. And if you are struggling with creating a dating app that's either A, bringing you in aligned humans, or B, not getting any right swipes, let me help you. I'm Jennifer Kalo. I am a sex and relationship and dating coach. And I've had a pretty great success rate, especially when helping men who seem to really, really struggle with creating successful dating apps. I have recorded a couple episodes with Jake Voss, and I will put those episodes as well below. And he does some really great coaching within the podcast episode for men specifically of how to show up on dating apps. So that's another free resource. If you need help, this is really a pretty quick 1-hour session that I host with people. My sessions are $111 an hour. So you get me for 60 full minutes, and we will craft your dating profile on the spot. And then you can turn right around and update your dating apps. So if you're not hip on the dating app terminology, a right swipe means that you're interested in matching with this person, and a left swipe means you're not interested. So Betty, the client that I'm talking about here, had over 200 right swipes, and about 100 of them she swiped left. She's still working through about 80 that feel aligned. That's freaking amazing. If you're thinking about all the years or all the time that you've spent on dating apps that just feels like a giant waste where you flushed your life down the toilet, there is a better way to do that. So the first thing I want to do today, because a lot of people they're kind of scared about dating apps, they don't really know what to do. I want to cover my top 3. Number 1 is Tinder. This is you going out in a little boat in the middle of an ocean and casting your net over and over in the giant sea of humans. Tinder can be great. I've met a lot of humans that I've dated off of Tinder, including my life partner, Scott. And Tinder can be a really great app. What I would want to teach you today, though, is to use a dating app as almost like a portal, a metaphorical portal, where you are putting out into your dating app, your dating profile, you're putting out what you're looking for. And you're being so specific that people are going to only right swipe on you if it feels aligned for them. And they'll left swipe on you if it doesn't feel aligned for them. And this is really the key. It's giving enough information that helps people identify, yeah, this is a human I would want to spend some time with, or no, this isn't somebody that I want to spend time with. And you want the left swipes, right? You want to make sure that you're not attracting every human out there. So Tinder's a really good app if you're casting a very wide net. This could be, you've just started dating and you're kind of curious what's out there and you just want to see. Tinder's going to give you a lot of variety. You might also get a lot of dick pics. So this is not a discriminating app. You're going to get a lot of things. I should say not a discerning app. Tinder can be interesting. Because this is a podcast for people in open relationships or that are open with their bedroom, I do want to note that if you do decide to open up on Tinder an app, a profile within that particular app, one of the TOCs, the terms and conditions say that you cannot have a partnered profile, meaning on some of these other apps that I'm going to talk to you about today, you can create an app and your partner can, I'm sorry, you can create a profile and your partner can create a profile. And within the app, you can connect them together. Some of these also allow for you to have a partner and you guys share a profile together. You cannot do that with Tinder, and your first main picture cannot be you and a partner. And obviously, you can't have children in any of your pictures. But if you tried to create a partnered profile or said, I have a partner, Tinder will shut down your account forever and you will be banned forever. True story. I'm banned from Tinder. So let's go to Bumble next. Bumble is, I would say, the next step up from Tinder. It's women have the control. So a woman has to right swipe on you, men, before you can connect with them. So there's a lot of control for women, and this is a great app. I use it because I am bisexual. So I use this as my backend settings are women looking for women or women looking for couples. It's also a great app for guys. Scott gets lots of matches off of Bumble. And side note, any of these apps that you choose, when you do choose to purchase a plan, a lot of times there's a free version. The free version typically doesn't let you see who swipes on you. And you also get a certain number of right swipes or likes or super swipes or roses or whatever each app calls the things that you want to do to get other people's attention. When you have the paid version, usually that's unlimited or it's set to a certain number. You also get some hierarchy within the algorithm if you are a paid member. So that's also something to think about. If you're serious about dating, I recommend doing at least the first paid tier. So that's Tinder, that's Bumble. Let's talk about Field. So again, for all of my very or slightly or wanting to be open people out here or open couples, Field is your profile. So it is a fabulous resource and I would say the largest dating app for people in the open community. So you create your profile, your partner or partners create their profiles, and then you attach to them, which Field calls a constellation. So if you're polyamorous like I am and you have multiple partners, so I am connected to Scott and says Scott is my primary partner. And then I am connected to Steph because Steph is a constellation girlfriend partner for me. And then we have a new girlfriend who I will have not talked about her yet. So I will not be saying her name, but I will also connect with her within my Field app so that people can see who am I dating? Who am I connected with in my polycule? And they can see out of those partners who is also dating Scott or who isn't dating Scott or whatever the case may be. And as a user who's interested in someone that then I find is in some sort of polycule and has multiple partners, I can then make a judgment decision for myself. Am I aligned with these other people that are in her polycule? Because if she's openly connecting with them, she probably has a very kitchen table polyamory kind of, vibe and is looking for someone like that. And do I like these people? And do I want to be connected to this whole chain of humans? Or you could also look at this is how many people that this person is somewhat committed to and showing on an app that they're connected to and are having sex with. And if I am comfortable with this person having sex with 3 or 4 people, is that something that I want to move forward with as well? So I love the constellation part. It's very like kitchen table polyamory. And if you have multiple partners that are, frequent or steady, then you can definitely connect with that. So I love the Field app. It's my favorite place to find girlfriends for Scott and I. And it's for me as the most aligned human. So they're typically very open, they're alternative, they are viewing life through very different lenses than people on Tinder. And it makes the most sense for me. Now, you don't have to be partnered, you don't have to be married. You can be single and be on field and be in an open relationship, be open to being open, even if you're single and not seeing anyone, or single and seeing multiple ones. Field is great. So let's move on to, once you've identified which app makes the most sense for you that we've talked about, Tinder, Bumble, Field. And there are so many others, you guys. There are so many other apps. We don't have enough time on this podcast to talk about all of them. These are the three I just choose to talk about. So once you've identified your app, let's fine tune who you want to date. That's the most important next thing, because as you're signing up for the apps, one of the first questions you're going to be asked is, who are you looking for? And you want to decide, am I looking for men? Am I looking for women? Am I looking for either? Gender neutral? Am I looking for a couple? What exactly am I looking for? And you might be open to all of it. Great, click all the boxes. The next thing that you want to start doing is crafting your dating profile. And I have a freebie for you that I'm going to have in the notes section below that's kind of like a Mad Libs for figuring out how to fill out your dating profile. So I'm giving you prompts, you're filling in the blank. And this is part of my kind of secret sauce to helping people get perfectly aligned matches. Maybe I should stop and do a little testimonial here, and then we'll jump into how to fill out your dating apps. I have always manifested amazing partners in my life. When I first left high school and stumbled upon my first husband, I got to practice this for the first time. So I had a very tumultuous first marriage. It was very verbally abusive. We had this 10-year age gap. And for many years of my marriage, it was very, very unhappy. So I had a lot of time to try to figure out, who do I actually want to be partnered with in this lifetime? So the last 2 or 3 years of my marriage, as it got worse and worse and worse, I started to kind of daydream or manifest, whatever word you want to, choose. I set an intention for really focusing in on the kind of man, because at that point I was only seeing men. And I thought, what kind of man do I want to have in my life? And I started with, what kind of energy do I want this person to have? Well, I've spent almost 10 years being, verbally abused and having to walk on eggshells. I want a calm man. I like the tall, dark, and handsome. I'd love for him to be taller than me, broader than me. Um, I love the dark hair thing. I want someone that is kind to me and my children. I don't know how long my list was. I don't think it was very long, but it started with the energy. And then I had some ideas of kind of what I wanted to feel physically when I was with this person. And so as I was leaving my first marriage and starting to get on dating apps, because I'd spent 2 years really focusing on, what do I want? What does he look like? What does he feel like? What does his energy feel like? So I get on the apps and I craft my dating profile for that. I'm newly single. I've never been on a dating app before. This was my, very first time. I'm 40. So this was 20 years ago. Actually, this was 12, 13 years ago that I first got on a dating app, because 20 years ago, there weren't dating apps. And I remember saying, like, I'm looking for my next life partner. I know I want to be settled down. I know I'm meant to be a partnered person. I'm looking for these things: someone that's calm, someone that's loving, someone that will love my children. Da, 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 da. And I got very, very clear. And I think I dated 3 or 4 men, and like the fifth one was Derek, the one who you guys, I'm sure, have heard me talk about, who was my second husband. Yes, we're divorced. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I got exactly what I needed, exactly what I needed. He was calm. He didn't yell at me. My kids felt safe. And several years into our marriage, I finally felt safe to step into who I am today, to join a crazy, amazing priestess program, to learn that it was safe to be in my feminine, because I had someone being masculine for me, and I could let that go. And all these things I carried from my 20s into my 30s. And then about 8, 9 years into our marriage, I realized, oh, this lesson is complete. I am safe to be who I am, and now I'm craving a challenge. So at this point, my first marriage, or my second marriage to Derek, when I got on the apps, it was Match.com at the time. I was paying for Match. I loved that I could be real choosy about who showed up. Match now is junky, and I got in it just to see what it was like last year as I was doing another podcast episode about dating. And I was like, ew, this is not at all. It was like top tier, 12, 13 years ago. You were getting best of the best on Match. So as I exited my second marriage and was open again, really, really clear coming out of that marriage of what I really needed. I needed somebody that was going to be a challenge, that was going to be fun, that was going to be spunky, that could hold this new version of me that was big and bold and made great money and was in sales and had created a lot for herself. And that takes a big man that can hold a woman who's done big things. And I very quickly met Scott. He was the second person that I connected with on the dating apps and the second man that I went out on a date with. And now I dated other people once I had met Scott, but we haven't stopped seeing each other since November 19th, almost 3 years ago. I met him the day after my birthday. And he was exactly what I wanted, exactly what I needed, and continues to be today a man that is growing with me and that allows me to be who I am, allows me to be open, and fully supports all the things that I want to learn. So, there's my track record from myself personally, 3 amazing life partners, 2 that I intentionally manifested. The first was just kind of, roll the dice and what happens when you first get out of high school and you're trying to figure out the world. But we still have a great relationship. We raise children together. He's my accountant. I'm currently building a website for him. So we're fine. I just want to kind of give you that background. Okay. I have also helped clients find their people. Usually more men than women. Women have a much easier job, but I just recently had done one with my client Betty that I got to share here, where I helped her craft her dating profile, and she got a couple hundred right swipes right out the gate. Okay, guys, let's move into the portion where I'm going to help you fill out your dating profile. Again, I have a freebie below. Make sure that you grab it, where it's more Mad Libs for how to craft your dating profile. So the first thing that you're going to do is you want to optimize your profile in a very similar way, the way that you would optimize if you were selling on e-commerce. The algorithm is checking boxes and saying, look, this person has put a lot of care and attention into their profile. We should show them more. And then the algorithm will go, oh, they're getting a lot of right swipes because they did a really good job on their profile. So I'm just going to take Field for example, because again, I think a lot of you listening, Field makes the most sense for the app. You need 6 pictures. Now, you always want to have some sort of like close up of your face, right? You always want to have a full body picture, because we don't lie to people and we don't catfish people on dating apps. We also don't want people to right swipe on us because we used a picture from 10 or 20 years ago and then be really disappointed in real life that you are not who you said you were on the internet. I have personally had this happen twice. I had it happen with a man that Scott and I were going out to dinner with. And long story short, we weren't trying to date them, but they had met us through, I think it was C4P, which is kind of like Cassidy, again, for my open folks that are on those sites. So they had seen us mostly naked, and they had seen our profiles and we had seen theirs. And so in my mind, I'm expecting to meet a man around, I don't know, 200 pounds, like normal sized man and a normal sized woman. And we get to the restaurant and he's like over 300 pounds. And I was just like, again, I'm not here for a date, but I felt almost like lied to because they did want to date us. We weren't open to dating a couple again. And so that feels really betraying when you think you're meeting something that you're not. I had it happen again a couple months ago. We were meeting someone for the first time, and I remember seeing all her pictures on her dating profiles. And this was a time where she, usually I'm questioned if you don't have a full body picture. She had not done any. And so from like the chest up, she looked, fit and maybe curvy. I love curvy. But she walks in the doors and is very heavy, like very heavy can versus the pictures that she had put in, but her face again looks thin. Y'all, I'm not against heavy people and I'm not against curvy people. I'm a what do the people call it? A BBW or whatever? Big, bold, beautiful, heavier, curvy. Like I am that. But you see that in my dating profiles. Like you see pictures of me full length. You see me, I'm actually wearing the leather pants today. And you see like I think I'm like turned to the side and you can see my ass. Like you can see I have a butt. Like if you aren't into that and you want a skinny chick, I am not your chick. This is intentional. Like I have pictures on there that intentionally show me the way that I really am because I never want to go on a date with someone and then be like, "Oh, you're just a little too like you're heavier than I thought you were. I'm really not into you." I would rather have them be wowed by who I am or wowed that I look the same way in the app. Okay. I just spent a lot of time on profile pictures. Sorry. But other things to think about, I have a lot of followers that are men, and I want to make sure that I'm really clear about this for you. Please do not show a picture of you with a fish or a dead animal or, I don't know, sunglasses on and clothes all the way up to your neck and are super far off into the distance because you're looking over a cliff and trying to create a whole vibe. Like be real and be normal in your pictures. Now, if you are a fisherman or a hunter and you want a woman who is super into that and kind of country, you go ahead and show those pictures. Like show your dead animal pictures and your fish. But if you aren't trying to attract that, you are never going to attract a city girl, or you're never going to attract a businesswoman that's not outdoorsy if that's what you're trying to go for. So just to be mindful that the pictures that you're showing should reflect who you are. They should reflect really what you're into. Like let's say I'm really into um, women that rock climb. Great. If you're a woman and you love to rock climb, you should show a picture of you rock climbing. If you love swimming and you're super passionate about swimming, show yourself swimming. Put the goggles, put the cap on. Like you want to attract people or you're really into horses. Oh my God, please show a picture of you and your horse. People are going to fall in love with that. Or you love dogs. People love people with dogs. So be really mindful about the 6 pictures that you have in your dating profile. Now, I really, now that I'm saying this, I'm like, oh gosh, what pictures do I have? So let me be super honest and I'm going to pull up my dating profile and I'm going to show you. Okay. So let me make sure that you guys can see this. Okay. Here is Here's my main picture. If you are not watching this, by the way, you're missing out. You can watch this video live, whatever, while you listen to the podcast on Spotify or on YouTube, which is free. So go get on YouTube and watch this because I'm going to be showing you things. If those of you that are watching, do I look like my profile picture? This is a recent picture because I've been going gray on purpose since October. And I don't want anybody to be surprised that I have gray hair. I, in fact, want someone that's like into cougars to swipe right. So I'm going to put this closer. Let's see if I can do this. This is my lead dating profile picture. Would you swipe right on that? I don't know. If you're not into gray hair, you wouldn't. But if you're into cougars with red lips and lashes, you're going to swipe right on that chick, right? Okay. Let me show you the next one. This is just me kind of being cute. I got fun glasses. I got a little sun hat. I just took this one day, I think, in my office. Yeah, I can see my office behind me, and I thought it was fun. And this is more like my funky side. Here's me with my love. Here's me and Scott. We were at some kind of sexy event and dressed all sexy. And I took this picture and I thought, this shows the love that we have for each other. And one of the biggest reasons that people tell me that they swiped right on my profile on Field was because women will say, I see the love and the connection that you and Scott have, and that makes me want to be a part of that. Like, I want that. I'm drawn to that. Let's see. The next one is Hunky Scott. We were at the horse races in Hot Springs in this picture, and he looks like a fucking dreamboat. And then I have me with no bra and these cute little pineapple pasties. Can you guys see this? This one's sexy. And then I think I have yeah, I got a sexy Scott. This is him naked in the shower with his sexy beard, and he's like conditioning it, and he looks like a dreamboat, and you can see his muscly shoulders. Damn, every time I see this picture, like it just makes my panties wet. So hot. Okay. Here's something cool too. Let me show you guys. Now that I can show and tell with you. Okay. I want to show you the constellation piece. So in the app on Field, can you guys see here? It says my constellation partners. If you're watching this on a mobile device, it's probably hard, but if you're watching on your Mac, if you're watching on your computer or you're watching on a television, if you have a nice TV on YouTube, I record all this in like high resolution, so you should be able to see this fine. That's my constellation partners. And it allows me, I hope this doesn't take her off. It allows me to add girlfriend stuff. Can you guys see this? Sorry, I don't know why it's not super in focus. There we go. There's Miss Artful Energy Steph. And if you're nosy and you want to know who we're dating, you can scroll down and read all about her. You can see other fun, sexy pictures of her and know that look, if you swipe right on me, you're gonna probably be part of this sexy mama and meeting her and saying hi because she's my partner. So, that is Field. Okay, let me go back to my notes because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. Um, in Field, you're gonna give yourself a name. I just call myself Jen with my last name. You could be Jazzy Jen, Juniper Jen. I don't know. I'm just making up names. Come up with a cool name for yourself. You had your date of birth so that people know how old you actually are, your gender, and there's a ton of different genders on Field specifically. You do your sexuality. There's 20 fields. I had to Google half this shit. I didn't know what this stuff was. There are so many different sexualities now. Then we do your about section, which I'm going to do more in depth in a minute. You fill out your desires. You get 10 desires and you get 10 interests. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this. Okay. You only get 10 and 10. So desires are things like I'm going to read you what I've put on mine. Sensual. I like three ways. I'm poly. I'm here for friendships, dates, foreplay, singles, FFM, cuddling, and massage. If you can't tell, Scott and I are super sensual humans. So these are the things I'm desiring. I want to cuddle with people and massage them and have three ways. Okay. Interests. These are things that I'm interested in. And if you're interested in them too, then the app brings us together and we could do these things. I have dinner, drinks, cooking, board games, bowling, top golf. I'm terrible at top golf, but it's a fun time. Reading, dogs, movies, and touch. And that's just mine. There's like 100 of each one of them. Okay. Let's see what else I want to tell you about. Okay. So the about section is where you really get to shine. So the first thing that I want you to think about is what are you looking for? And then you kind of craft your profile around that. I'm going to give you an example of, let me just read mine first so that because you guys who've been listening to me for a while, you know me, you know my dynamic with Scott. And so I think it will be helpful to read you what I've written. We are Jen and Scott, female play only, and we date together. That tells you everything you need to know off the bat of whether or not this is a good thing to swipe right on. So I'm partnered to a man. We only date women and we only date together. Here's this next paragraph. We are a semi open couple looking for someone curious about or interested in building a very connective, closed poly relationship. We want to know and care about you deeply, learn what you're passionate about, and discover what turns you on and lights you up. Now, with this paragraph, if you do not want a deep relationship with someone, you're going to swipe left on me. If you're looking for a super sexy one night stand night, not your girl. Next paragraph. Scott and I are both super sensual and love to massage, touch, and snuggle with the ladies we play with. Now, using the word ladies is intentional because sometimes we have more than one girlfriend. We might have more than one throuple going at a time. So we want you to know that. And then the last part, I do a little plug for the podcast. I have a lifestyle podcast. Feel free to check out episode number 69 of the Open Bedroom podcast to watch an episode with both of us. So, this gives people permission to go like and follow my podcast and check out episode 69, which is really hot if you haven't listened to it already. And you can watch us. You get to watch Scott and I interact with each other, which is a huge indicator of whether or not we're in a, deeply committed relationship. You can tell if there's like weird energy between the two of us, which there isn't. You can see how we look at each other and flirt with each other on the podcast. It's really fun. So that's mine. I want to read to you what we've crafted for my client that I've been referencing. After 36 years of marriage, my husband and I have opened our marriage and are beginning to explore. We are in a throuple with a lovely woman. I'm here solo dating to discover what I might like and enjoy about sex and my body. And I'm looking for partners to build a safe, explorative relationship with. And the first two sentences here, you get a really great snapshot of this woman has been in a very long marriage. She's married to a man. The marriage is open and they're starting to explore. She's currently in a throuple with a lovely woman with her husband, but she's here on this dating app to solo date because she wants to explore more about sex in her body. And she says, I'm looking for partners to build a safe, explorative relationship with, open to singles and couples, any gender, and any formation of FM, FF, FMF, or MFM. So she's saying, I'm really open to anything. And if you aren't, again, kind of hip with the acronyms here, FM is female male, FF is female female, FMF is female male female, and MFM is male female male. So in the About You section, I have had her say, we crafted this together. Now, this is where you start to get the stickiness. Like, oh, you're into dogs, I'm into dogs. Like, you're into riding, I'm into riding. I got a motorcycle, I got a horse. I don't know, this kind of stuff. So in her About You, it says, I am an avid animal lover and raise dogs, horses, cows, goats, chickens, and plants. I'm also into homesteading and own a huge self-sustaining farm. I can shoot guns, drive a tractor, and cook a damn good meal. I love mountains more than the beach. Now, I'm going to stop right here because this gives you so much meat to then respond to this person and say, I love to cook too. What's your favorite recipe? Or to go, I love horses too. What breed of horse? Or, hey, we should go riding together. Self sustaining farm. Tell me more about this. I'm actually a prepper. I'm so into this kind of thing. Lots of stickiness. So we move into more sexy stuff. And she says, I'm a sensual, energetic, erotic blueprint. Bonus points if you know what that means. So she's calling out to everybody following Ian and Jaya and the erotic blueprints and saying, if you know what that is, here is my blueprint. And if you don't know what that means, all you have to do when you swipe right is go, I don't know what is an erotic blueprint. Tell me more. And then she might ask you to take the quiz and ask you what your results are. It's so much conversation packed into this little profile. She says, I'm on a journey to get to know myself deeper. Swipe right if this sounds like you and tell me something interesting about yourself. So she's giving you permission to come back with prompts and come back with questions and really have some great dialogue. Now, if you again are a fly by night, one and done, sexy summer evening kind of vibe, this woman is not for you. I am not for you. She is clearly stating, I'm looking for a relationship. So that assumes long term with someone that she can explore with, an explorative relationship. You also know that this person not only has a husband, but also a girlfriend, and she's in a throuple. She's got commitments. Like she has humans in her life that are going to get more time and have more demand, probably than you, at least from the beginning. So you're walking into something that may be more complex than you want, or it might be exactly the kind of meat that you're looking for. Okay, so I am not going to cover my Mad Libs dating profile fill out sheet, but I do have it in the notes below, and I do want you to grab it because I am leading you through each of these things. Um, and I really think it's important to be really mindful about what you put in your dating profile because that is the magnets, the magnetic attraction that's going to attract when people right swipe on you. And the way that these are crafted, I'll give you some examples in the Mad Libs for you to kind of look at, is it's crafted in a way that makes you look interesting, not just with your eyes with pictures, but with the copy that you're writing. It gives you lots of hooks to hook in people, and it gives permission to the person that's reading this to make the first move. It says right swipe if this feels like you, and tell me something interesting about yourself. All right, guys, this was a fun episode. I want you to get ready to start getting on these dating apps. Um it's almost time for cuffing season to start. So within the next month, usually Q4 is cuffing season. If you've never heard of this terminology, go Google. It's kind of fun. And what happens to us like biologically is we want to hunker down. We want to snuggle up. It's cold. Like we want people to get snuggly with. And it's called cuffing season, where you want to cuff someone for the season for Q4 and sometimes spills into January and February to spend those cold months with. And then in spring, a lot of people get released. So you have through cuffing season, if you want to permanently cuff someone, to really nurture that relationship. If you're looking for marriage or long-term partnership, and if not, hey, get somebody to spend some of those like cold, cozy nights with. All right, guys. This has always been fun. I love doing these solo episodes. Oh, let me ask you for one quick thing. We need more reviews and more ratings. If you guys would do me the favor, if you are listening on Apple or you don't mind popping over to Apple, looking up The Open Bedroom, you scroll down about, I don't know, one or two little scrolls, you'll see where the reviews are. You just click into it. And if you would please give this show 5 stars and please give it some kind of a review. I listen, I look at every one of them. Sometimes I read the reviews here on the show. Please help me help you get higher in the algorithm, help us reach more people. And if you want to ever just send an episode to a friend, I would also greatly appreciate it as we continue to grow the Open Bedroom podcast. All right, guys, have an amazing day. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Open Bedroom podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and give us a like and click subscribe below and stay up to date on all the new episodes that we release. If you have a topic that you'd really like more information on, leave us a comment below and we'll see what we can do. Feel free to share this podcast with all of your friends and especially your partners. This is a great way to open up some amazing conversations. We'll see you next week.